Flying high, these flags are symbolic representations of oneself many know little about. At 2nd Parkwood Drive, flowers bloom in front of the home of an old yet lively soul. That soul belongs to 67-year-old Tyrone Brockington, an African-American veteran of the United States Army ranked at corporal. Before retiring as a carpenter, Mr. Brockington served 2 years, 1965 to 1968, in the nation's first televised war, Vietnam. Invited into his home, we sat down to discuss the experiences, lessons, and accomplishments embraced during his time spent in the brutal guerrilla warfare that was Vietnam.
What was that experience like for you going over initially?
I was just like walking down a hallway blindfolded and not knowing where you're going, what's gonna happen, you know.
What was it like for you as a young black man in the war and after?
It was a very critical, scary situation because I was like 19 or 20 years old when I went to war, and going into something like that by yourself, because soldiers nowadays they go as a group, but when I went to war I went by myself, and it was very experiencing. It made me grow up in a hurry. I became a man, a boy, then a man within a year. And I've seen things that some people would never see in a lifetime. And I appreciate life, living, and I know how hard it is for us veterans to sacrifice and give up a lot of things that, you know, a lot of people don't know about. My most important achievement was being able to follow instructions. And once you learn how to follow instructions and use common sense, you're on your way.
Can you tell us about some of the patches on your vest?
Oh, this is my war vest. It has patches from my unit I served with in Vietnam. I was a scout soldier with the 173rd Airborne Brigade, and once you go in combat, you get a CIB, but you got to be in combat. You can't get it out of no school.
Absolutely.
And this patch here is the 558,000 soldiers that were killed fighting for the country, and disabled American veteran Agent Orange patch. And I got this. I'm a member of the Disabled American Veterans, and every year we pick out Veteran of the Year. And from 2011 to 2012, I was selected Veteran of the Year for our chapter. And this is Tet. Tet is during the time that the fighting in Vietnam back in 66, 67, 68 were real intense, because it's like a Vietnamese holiday and we had a truce. We had the truce, but they didn't. And a lot of soldiers were killed and wounded. And it's another patch. And I was a paratrooper. And this one here is the 50th anniversary of Vietnam. Since, you know, I thought it was, I was stuck at 40 years, but it's 50 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, and when I'm in parades and stuff like that, the guys usually wear them.
what was it like being a paratrooper? What was your initial response when you saw, or what made you feel like that's what I want to do?
When I went to Fort Leonard Wood, engineering school for demolition. After I finished school, I was coming back through Louisville, Kentucky, and I saw these guys in the bus station. And they had the khaki suit on with the jump boots and the cunt cap and the ropes and the wings and everything was tapered and they looked so cool. I said, I want to be one of them. So when I went to my Fort Gordon, I told them I wanted to go to jump school, and went to jump school, and I got to be a paratrooper. And from jump school, they sent me to the 82nd Airborne Division. And there I went through Ranger training, Pathfinder school, Recondo, and after all that training, I was ready to go to Vietnam. A lot of guys didn't have that opportunity. They went from from boot camp straight to Vietnam. I had a few buddies that did that. They're out here now. You know, they got killed in the war over there. And one from right here. The first guy that got killed in the war, when we were good friends, his name was Barnett Jenkins. And I wear his name on the back of his shirt. And, but I was able to get extensive training before I went over there, and maybe that would help me came back home.
Well, I understand you had a brother that was in the war as well. What was that like for you, knowing that your brother would be fighting the same fight that you would be fighting?
You know, back in the day, back in in 1967, they had a law, Congress passed a bill that it was called the Sullivan's Law, where family members couldn't be in a combat zone at the same time. And he came over. I don't know how that happened, but his company commander sent my company commander a letter, and I was getting out of the hospital anyhow because I had malaria. And I asked could I go see him because I hadn't seen him in about 5 years. And by him coming in country, it was a possibility I might not get to see him at all. So they let me go see him. He was up north in Da Nang. He was with the 1st Marine Division. And I went to see him, and we reminisced and partied at China Beach, and we had a good time, but I hated to leave him. And now they don't care. They'll send your mama, your brother, it don't make any difference. Who, what, they'll send you. But you know, that's if you're RA means a volunteer, U.S. drafted, you know. But still, to me, I don't think they should send them, you know, family members over at the same time. But that's, you know, that's how it works nowadays.
Absolutely. And because of previous, what can you sum up for us that meaning for you as a person from all of that experience?
Well, what I got out of it, from the beginning to the end, freedom is not free. Somebody has to sacrifice for other people to be free. And that's it. Somebody had to die. That's war.
Tyrone Brockington, one of the many African-American heroes still amongst us. He traveled the trenches of war a boy and arose a man who soars in life, being a symbolic representation of service and triumph. We thank and appreciate you for your valor, sacrifice, and duty.